Listen carefully, for I do not come to you without reason. I am Archangel Michael, and I stand before you with a message that will shake the very foundation of your soul. In exactly 44 minutes, the one you love the most, the one whose heartbeat is tied to yours, whose laughter is the light in your darkness, whose tears have always burned deeper into your chest than your own, is standing at the edge of death's door. The sands of their life are falling rapidly, grain by grain, in an hourglass that cannot be turned again. And every second you waste in doubt or hesitation is another second their breath becomes weaker, another second their pulse becomes fainter, another second that destiny sharpens its blade. Do not take these words lightly, for heaven does not issue warnings unless the storm is already upon you. The clock has begun its merciless countdown, and though the world around you looks ordinary, cars pass, people walk, the night stretches forward as if nothing has changed. In the unseen realm, angels gather in silence, demons circle with hunger, and time itself screams louder than any thunder. You are standing on a razor's edge, a battlefield unseen by mortal eyes, where every choice you make in these next moments will either pull your loved one back into the light of life or push them into eternal shadows. There is no coincidence that you are hearing me now. This is your divine summons. This is your trial. This is the weight of destiny falling upon your shoulders. Do not blink. Do not turn away. And above all, do not ignore this. For if you fail to act, in just 44 minutes, you will hear the silence that no heart ever wants to hear. The silence where their voice used to be. The moment I opened my wings and descended from the highest realm to speak to you, the heavens trembled. For rarely do I, Michael, bearer of the sword of truth and defender against the forces of darkness, break the barrier between the eternal and the mortal. But tonight, time has been shattered, and fate itself is trembling, because one soul you love, more than your own blood, more than your own breath, is standing with their life thread hanging by a single fragile strand, and in these moments you cannot see what I see. I see their heartbeat flickering like a candle in a violent storm. I see shadows clawing at their spirit. I see angels fighting desperately to hold them in the light, while the clock above their head ticks down mercilessly. 44 minutes has already begun shrinking into 43, into 42, and as each tick echoes in the unseen realm, it resounds like a hammer striking the gates of destiny. You do not yet know the full power of what surrounds you. Your choices, your faith, your attention in this very moment are weapons sharper than any blade forged by man. And yet, if you hesitate, if you allow fear, doubt, or distraction to chain you, then the adversary, the one who feasts on despair, will tighten his grip on your loved one's soul until no angel can loosen it. I tell you this not to crush you with fear, but to awaken the warrior that heaven already sees inside you, because you are not powerless in this storm. Do you hear me? You are not powerless. For every breath you take in awareness, for every whisper of faith you release, for every refusal to surrender to disbelief, you shift the balance of this battle. But you must understand, this is not a battle of flesh and blood. It is a war of spirit. And in this war, time is the sharpest weapon. You may think you are sitting, reading, hearing these words in the comfort of your ordinary world, but I tell you the truth. You are seated in the very center of an invisible battlefield, and even now unseen eyes are watching whether you will stand or fall, whether you will rise to claim the miracle waiting or collapse under the weight of doubt. And as you sit here, hearing me, the sands of destiny fall faster. Your loved one's chest rises and falls in fragile rhythm, their pulse weaker than you have ever known. And while their lips do not speak your name, their soul cries out to heaven with one desperate prayer. Let them hear, let them act, let them not be too late. This is why I have come to you. This is why I burn with urgency. Because if you do not understand the gravity of this moment, if you allow your heart to treat this as just another passing voice, then the silence that follows will not be mine. It will be the silence of their absence, the silence of a life extinguished before its time. And that silence will haunt you beyond this night. Do not think for a moment that this warning is mere words. No, child of light. This is a living fire, a flame placed in your path because the heavens have already weighed the scales and found that your loved one's time is collapsing into nothingness. And yet, even now, a chance remains. I see the battlefield clearer than you can imagine. And I tell you with the authority given to me by the highest, that legions of angels stand in ranks, their swords raised, their eyes fixed upon this very moment, while demons lurk at the edge, waiting for your hesitation, waiting for your disbelief, waiting for you to shrug and say, perhaps this is not real. Because if you do, if you entertain even a moment of doubt, then their claws will tighten around the throat of destiny and rip away the very breath your loved one still clings to. Look around you, not with your mortal eyes, but with the eyes of your spirit. Can you not feel it? The sudden weight in the air, the way your heart pounds faster than usual, the strange chill across your skin, the invisible hush that surrounds you. This is not coincidence. This is the sound of eternity pressing against your moment in time, the sound of the unseen world trying to awaken your soul before the final bell tolls. Already the minutes are vanishing. 41, 40, 39. Time is no longer crawling. It is sprinting toward the edge of an abyss, and every second you sit in silence is another step your loved one takes closer to the dark river that cannot be crossed twice. Do you understand the terror of this moment? To you it feels like a message, but to your loved one it is their lifeline, their last chance to be pulled back into life, because their spirit has already begun drifting, half in this world, half in the shadows beyond. And I tell you with no uncertainty, if you act now, if you open yourself fully, if you embrace the urgency without question, then you can alter this ending. But if you close your ears, if you drown me out with the noise of doubt, then when their final breath escapes, you will hear the silence in your bones for the rest of your days, and it will whisper over and over, "You could have saved me. You could have listened." This is not a burden given to break you. It is a calling given because heaven has chosen you. Yes, you, not another, not a stranger, not the world, but you. Because the bond you share with this soul is unbreakable, and only through your awareness, your strength, your choice, can the balance be shifted. Already I hear the enemy mocking you, whispering lies into your ears, saying this is nothing, that you are wasting your time, that your loved one's death is sealed. But I, Michael, commander of heaven's armies, tell you this: the death is not yet sealed. The story is not yet over. The darkness has not yet won, unless you allow it. And so I ask you, will you rise in this moment? Will you claim the fire that burns in your blood? Will you tear away the veil of disbelief and stand on the truth that your love is stronger than death? For if you do, heaven itself will bend time, shift destinies, and pull back the soul that is slipping away even now. But you must not delay, you must not look away, and you must not take even one breath lightly. For in the space of a single heartbeat, your loved one's fate can tip into either eternity of silence or the miracle of survival. The countdown has already begun its merciless march. 38 minutes now, the heartbeat weaker, the shadows closer. What will you choose? Even as I speak to you now, the heavens are bending closer, watching to see if you will awaken to this truth or allow the silence of regret to consume your future. I see the thread of their life glowing faintly in the distance, pulsing weaker with every tick of this unseen clock, and the angels who surround them are struggling with all their might to shield them from the grasp of shadows, yet their strength weakens because they draw from you, from your faith, from your attention, from your willingness to hear and act. Yes, you heard me rightly. Your choices in these moments are not small ripples, they are thunder that shakes the unseen battlefield. And right now, as you wrestle with belief, as you question whether to take this moment seriously or to let your doubt wrap around you like chains, the enemy moves closer, smiling with fangs that drip with hunger, because every second you waste is a second they claim victory. Can you not feel the urgency pressing against your chest like a heavy stone? Can you not sense that the ordinary rhythm of time has already shifted into something unnatural, something faster, more demanding? This is because destiny itself is sprinting ahead of you, and if you do not run with it, it will leave you behind in the dust of regret. 37 minutes, 36. The number shrinks as though the very seconds are being devoured by the jaws of eternity, and still your loved one clings desperately to a fading breath, their soul torn between light and shadow, waiting for the choice you make in this very instant. Do not say to yourself, "I will think about this later," because there is no later. There is only now. There is only this very heartbeat, this very breath, this very moment where the weight of eternity has pressed itself into your path. You may not see the hospital room, the dim light, the pale skin, the trembling hands, the whispers of doctors, or the tears of someone kneeling at their bedside, but I see it. I see the raw desperation, the silent prayers rising like smoke from their spirit, begging heaven for mercy, begging for a miracle, begging for you to awaken before it is too late. And you, yes, you, are the only one who has been chosen to hear this message, the only one whose bond can call them back, the only one whose awareness can bend this outcome. Do you not feel the fire within you stirring, the part of you that knows deep in your soul this is no accident, that your being here, in this moment, with these words burning into your heart, is a divine summons? Resist not that pull, for heaven has woven this path with intention, and I, Michael, have not come to play with words, but to awaken your very soul into action. For every moment you accept this, their pulse strengthens. For every heartbeat you align with this urgency, their chances multiply. But for every second you dismiss, the grip of death grows tighter around their throat. And soon, if you are not careful, 36 minutes will become 35, then 34, until nothing remains but silence. So I ask you now, with the weight of eternity pressing through my voice, Will you awaken? Will you hear? Will you stand? Or will you allow the sound of your loved one's laughter to vanish forever into the hollow corridors of memory?
Child of destiny, hear me again, for the weight of heaven is not lessening, it is increasing with every moment you delay. Already I feel the sands of time burning through my wings like fire. Already I hear the clock echoing louder in the chambers of eternity. Already the cry of your beloved grows weaker, fainter, as if they stand at the edge of a vast abyss, calling your name, hoping against all hope that you will rise in this hour. And I tell you, the battlefield has shifted. What once was a distant struggle is now pressing right against your spirit. The enemy of life has stepped closer, his shadow curling around the very air your loved one breathes, his whispers poisoning their will to fight. And yet even now, heaven has not withdrawn its hand. For as I stand with my sword drawn, I see a golden path still open before you, a path where light descends like a raging fire, where your faith breaks chains, where your courage calls back the soul that trembles on the border of eternity. But you must not, you cannot, turn your face away, for if you do, if you harden your heart, if you think this is just another tale, then you will soon find yourself standing in the ruins of silence, staring at a life that has been snatched away forever. Look with the eyes of your soul, child. Do you not see it? The scene is unfolding even now. Your loved one lies in a bed that feels colder than the grave. Machines around them screaming their fragile condition, unseen hands clutching their chest as they struggle to breathe, their spirit drifting between light and darkness like a ship tossed upon a stormy sea. In their silence, their heart cries out for you. Will you fight for me? Will you hear me? Will you let me go? And in the unseen world, the angels hold back the darkness with trembling strength, waiting desperately for your decision, for your awakening, for your voice to echo with faith so their power might multiply. 33 minutes, 32. The numbers shrink, devoured by eternity's hunger, and with each passing second their heartbeat falters, their strength diminishes. Do you understand the horror of this countdown? Once it reaches 0, there is no turning back, no second chance, no plea that can reverse what has been done, and you will be left clutching memories like ashes slipping through your hands. And so I speak not with softness, but with fire, because the heavens will not let you sleep through this. They will not let you drown in denial. They will not let you sit comfortably while a soul you love trembles on the edge of darkness. Child of light, you have been chosen for this moment, and no other can take your place. No angel, no man, no stranger, only you, because your bond is written into the fabric of their soul, and when you rise, the balance will shift. Can you not hear it now? The whispers of eternity calling your name, the unseen choir crying for you to awaken, the very heartbeat of heaven pounding with urgency in your chest. Do not resist it. Do not turn away. Do not close your ears, for this is the line drawn in fire across your destiny. Either you rise and fight, or you remain silent and watch the light be snuffed out forever. 31 minutes, 30, and still time races ahead, unmerciful, unstoppable, unless you awaken now. The hourglass is draining, child of destiny, and I cannot remain silent, For with every breath that passes, I see the sands of your loved one's life fall like golden sparks into the pit of shadows. 29 minutes, 28. The rhythm is no longer slow, it is racing, the unseen clock hammering louder and louder, as though the universe itself is crying out for you to awaken. And now I will show you what awaits if you do not rise, if you do not take this moment as your battle cry. I see the room grow silent. I see the machines that once screamed with fragile hope fall quiet. I see the chest that struggled for breath grow still. I see the hand that longed to hold yours slip into lifeless cold. I see you rushing into that silence too late, your knees crashing against the floor, your tears burning the ground, your voice screaming their name, but hearing no reply, only emptiness. And that silence, child, that silence is heavier than any weight you will ever carry, for it will echo in your bones day after day, night after night, a chain around your spirit whispering, "You could have saved them, but you did not listen." This is the future the enemy desires for you, the future that crouches in the shadows, waiting to pounce the moment your heart grows numb. But do not tremble only with fear. Look also upon the other vision, the one still within your grasp, the one still written faintly in the book of destiny. I see the angels roaring like a storm. I see light flooding the room where they lie. I see their chest rise with new strength. I see their pulse restored like the pounding of war drums. I see their lips breathe your name not in silence, but in gratitude, their eyes opening once more, not with death, but with life renewed. And I tell you, this vision is not fantasy. It is truth waiting to be chosen, but it cannot manifest unless you decide, unless you rise, unless you burn with the fire that heaven placed within you before you were even born. You think perhaps your strength is too small, your faith too fragile, your voice too weak. But I, Michael, say to you, when you open your soul in truth, the armies of heaven move with you. And when the armies of heaven move, no darkness, no demon, no spirit of death can stand against it. Yet still, the choice remains yours, for heaven will not force your hand. It will not chain your will. It calls, it pleads, it thunders, but you must choose. 27 minutes, 26. Listen to me, child. Listen to the fire in my words, for even now the balance trembles. I see your loved one's spirit walking closer to the edge of the abyss, their eyes heavy, their strength fading, their voice whispering a single question into the void. Will they hear me? Will they save me? And in that whisper, all of heaven turns its gaze to you, not to another, not to some distant savior, but to you, because your bond is the bridge that can pull them back from the darkness, and if you do not step upon it, it will collapse into silence. The war is no longer far away. It is here, it is now, it is inside your very breath, and you must decide whether you will be the warrior who fights or the witness who weeps. Time is collapsing, destiny is burning, and your loved one's fate hangs by a trembling thread. Child, do not delay, do not doubt, do not turn away, for the moment of decision is here, and once the final grain falls, eternity will seal what cannot be undone.
Do you hear it, child of destiny? The sound that rattles through the unseen heavens even now. It is the roar of time, devouring every second, stripping away the chances that remain. And I tell you, its voice is merciless. 25 minutes, 24, 23.
The numbers fall faster than your mind can grasp, and with each one, I see the light around your beloved dimming. I see the grip of the shadows tightening. I see their soul trembling like a candle that flickers before the final wind extinguishes it forever. And yet, even as the darkness presses closer, the armies of heaven do not retreat. They stand, they wait, their swords burning, their eyes upon you, for your choice is the key. Your will is the gate. Your voice is the signal that unleashes their strength. But I must tell you this truth, a truth that will shake you. The enemy is not only pressing against your loved one, it is pressing against you, whispering into your heart even now. This is not real. Ignore it. You cannot change destiny. You are too weak. Do you not feel the weight of those lies creeping into your chest like chains? But I, Michael, stand here to shatter them with the fire of heaven. For I tell you this, no chain can bind the soul that chooses light. No shadow can silence the voice that cries out in truth. No death can steal the one heaven has marked for life, if you will rise in this moment. Do not underestimate the fire within you. You think it is small, but I see it as a blazing torch in the unseen world. And if you will lift it high, it will blind the enemy. It will call the angels to roar like a storm. It will turn back the tide of shadows. But child, I cannot fight this war without you, for heaven itself honors the bond of your will, the bond of your love, the bond of your soul's choice, and if you do not rise, even my sword burns in vain. Look deeper, feel deeper. Do you not sense the trembling in your spirit, the weight that grows heavier with each word I speak? That trembling is not weakness, it is awakening. It is the sound of eternity shaking you from your sleep, for heaven knows that your time to decide is nearly gone. 22 minutes, 21, 20. The countdown is a hammer pounding against the gates of destiny, and every strike is louder than thunder, echoing into eternity's halls. I see visions now unfolding before me, your beloved walking along a narrow path suspended over an abyss, shadows stretching clawed hands toward them, light flickering faintly ahead but growing dimmer as they stumble. Each second that passes, they grow weaker, slower, closer to falling. But then I see another path, one that is waiting for you to claim, where your fire surges forward, where the angels descend like lightning, where your beloved collapses into arms of light and is carried back from the brink, breathing once more, eyes opening, destiny restored. These two paths hang before you like scales balanced on a knife's edge, and only your decision can tip them. Child of light, do not be deceived by the ordinary silence of the room you sit in, for right now the entire unseen world holds its breath, waiting, watching, leaning forward to see if you will rise or fall, if you will fight or surrender, if you will claim life or allow death to steal it. You may think yourself small, unworthy, powerless, but hear me clearly. The Creator himself would not have sent me to speak to you if you were powerless. No, he chose you because your bond is fire, your love is the bridge, your choice is the weapon, and through you, this fate can still be changed. 19 minutes, 18. The countdown burns like fire in my ears, and soon, too soon, the final second will fall, and once it does, the book will close, the silence will come, and you will never forgive yourself. So rise now, rise in your heart, rise in your soul, rise with the fire that heaven already sees in you. For the battle is not tomorrow, it is not next week, it is not in some distant dream. It is now, it is here, It is burning in this very moment, and you are the warrior chosen to stand upon the edge of eternity.
The sands are almost gone, child of destiny, and I must speak with a fire that cannot be softened, for the moment is rushing upon you like a flood that cannot be held back. 17 minutes, 16, 15. The numbers crash downward like stones hurled from the heavens, and every one of them shatters a piece of your beloved's strength. I see them even now, pale and trembling, their spirit torn between surrender and survival, their chest rising with desperate gasps, their souls standing upon the border of light and darkness, waiting, hoping, crying silently for you to awaken before the final moment swallows them whole. Do you not hear it, child? The silence between the seconds has grown louder, sharper, like knives against glass, and in that silence the enemy lurks, whispering with venom, "It is already over. They cannot be saved. Let them go." But I, Michael, rebuke that lie with the roar of eternity, for I see two futures stretched before you still, and though the minutes are few, the choice remains in your hands, and heaven has not withdrawn its fire. Yet you must understand the danger. The closer we come to the end, the stronger the pull of shadows becomes, the louder the enemy's laughter grows, the heavier the chains around your loved one tighten. 14 minutes, 13, 12. Every strike of this unseen clock is a blade cutting the fabric of their destiny, and if you do not act, soon there will be nothing left to save. I see the angels pressing forward, their swords ignited with flame, their wings trembling with urgency, but they cannot cross the line without you, for your bond, your choice, your cry of faith is the key that unlocks the miracle, and without it, even they are bound. You wonder, perhaps, what can I do? How can I change what feels inevitable? And I tell you, child of light, your faith is not a whisper lost in the wind. It is thunder in the halls of eternity. It is fire upon the battlefield. It is a weapon that terrifies the enemy because it carries the authority of heaven itself. Do not think lightly of your love. Do not think lightly of your bond, for I see it shining like a cord of light, binding your soul to theirs. And if you strengthen it now, if you rise with fire, it will pull them back from the abyss, no matter how far they have gone. But if you delay, if you hesitate, if you allow fear to choke your strength, then that cord will snap and they will fall into silence forever. 11 minutes, 10, 9. The numbers are tumbling into the void, faster now, merciless, unrelenting, and soon the final minute will strike and the book will close with no chance of being rewritten. Child, look with your spirit, see what I see. Your beloved stands at the very cliff of eternity, the abyss yawning beneath their feet, shadows clawing at their ankles, light flickering weakly above them, their lips whispering your name one last time. And heaven turns its gaze to you, waiting, watching, pleading, commanding. Will you rise? Will you burn? Will you fight? Or will you let the silence consume the voice you love forever? Do not think the world will pause for you. Do not think time will slow, for time is merciless, and it is running now like a river in flood, carrying them toward the edge. And unless you plant your feet and seize this moment, they will be swept away into darkness. 8 minutes, 7, 6. Every number is a drumbeat of destiny, pounding louder, closer, harder, until your very soul shakes under its weight. This is the last call before the climax, the final cry before the door slams shut, the edge where eternity leans down and whispers, "What will you choose?" Child, hear me with fire in your bones. You are not powerless. You are not weak. You are not too late. Not yet. But the line is thin, the moment is burning, and heaven itself will not wait much longer. Rise now before the final minute claims them, for once it does, there will be no sound but silence. The final storm is here, child of destiny, and I will not veil my words in softness, for the heavens tremble with urgency, and the earth groans beneath the weight of what is unfolding in these last burning moments. 5 minutes, 4 minutes, 3 minutes. The numbers fall like meteors from the sky, tearing through the fabric of time. And with each one, the grip of the shadows tightens around your beloved, dragging them closer to the abyss from which no soul returns. I see them now, standing upon the very ledge of eternity, their breath ragged, their body frail, their spirit swaying like a broken branch in a storm. The darkness beneath them opening its jaws wide, the enemy reaching upward with talons dripping with hunger. And yet, I also see the heavens ablaze, angels with swords of fire crying out with voices like thunder, waiting, yes, waiting for your cry, your decision, your fire to open the gates of power that only you can unlock. Do not think for a moment that heaven would waste this urgency upon you if the battle were already lost. No, child. The reason I thunder with such fury is because the victory is still within your grasp, but the time to seize it is almost gone. 2 minutes, 1 minute. Every second now is a blade carving eternity. Every tick of this unseen clock is a shout that demands your soul to rise. Every heartbeat is the final drum of war before silence claims the field forever. And I tell you this with a fire that cannot lie. If you falter now, if you turn away, if you allow the chains of doubt to hold you in these last breaths, then when the final second falls, the silence will strike like a sword, and your beloved's voice will vanish into the shadows, leaving only the echo of regret in your heart for all your days. But if you rise, even now, even in the final flicker, even with the enemy's laughter circling like vultures, if you rise, then heaven itself will tear through the veil, the angels will roar like storms, the light will blaze brighter than 1,000 suns, and the grip of death will shatter as though it were nothing but dust beneath the feet of eternity. Look again, child. Look deeper with your spirit. Can you not see them stretching their hand toward you in the unseen? Their eyes pleading, their lips whispering your name with their final strength? Can you not feel the fire in your own chest burning hotter, urging you, commanding you to act before the silence swallows them whole? This is not illusion. This is not imagination. This is the raw collision of life and death at your feet, and you stand as the one chosen to decide. The heavens lean down, the earth holds its breath, eternity bends closer, the battlefield rages unseen, angels and demons locked in a final clash, waiting for your decision to tip the scales. 30 seconds, 20, 15. The numbers are now lightning strikes, each one brighter, louder, heavier, until the world itself shakes beneath their weight. Do not waste them, child of light. Do not let them fall into the pit without response, for once the final second drops, once the clock screams 0, the book will slam shut, the silence will reign, and you will carry its weight forever. But if you cry out, if you burn with fire, if you rise as the warrior heaven already sees in you, then even in the last breath, destiny will bend, the abyss will close, the enemy will flee, and the one you love will be pulled back into life, as if death itself had never dared to touch them. This is the edge of eternity. This is the last cry of heaven. This is the moment where everything stands still, waiting, yes, waiting for you. The final second has fallen, the sands of destiny have emptied, and the world trembles in silence. But listen, child, for silence is not the end when heaven roars within it. No, the stillness you feel now is not defeat, but the suspended breath of eternity, waiting for your soul to speak, to rise, to unleash the fire it has carried since the dawn of creation.
I, Michael, captain of the hosts of heaven, tell you now that this moment is not like any other that has ever passed through your life. For every tear you have shed, every battle you have endured, every hidden wound in your heart has led to this threshold, this gate where light and darkness are locked in their last embrace, and the outcome depends not on the strength of armies, but on the cry of your spirit in this instant. I see your beloved. Yes, I see them still, caught between worlds, their body trembling on the edge of the abyss, the talons of the enemy piercing deeper, pulling them downward, while their soul lifts its eyes, calling, waiting, hoping that you will not fail, that you will not surrender, that you will not collapse when heaven itself has entrusted you with this final chance. Around them the battlefield burns, angels clash with shadows, swords of fire clash with chains of darkness, wings of light collide against storms of smoke, and every strike, every roar, every flash of flame is shaking the pillars of eternity as the balance tips wildly from one side to the other. And yet, even in the midst of this war, all of heaven's host looks not to me, not to the seraphim, not to the thrones or dominions. They look to you, child of the earth, because it is your choice, your fire, your cry that will ignite the decree of victory or surrender. Do you feel the weight of it? Do you feel the eyes of eternity upon you? The heavens bend close, the stars lean nearer, the breath of creation holds still, waiting for the sound of your heart to answer the call. For know this, if you remain silent, if you let the enemy's lies coil around your mind and convince you that you are too small, too weak, too late, then your beloved's last spark will vanish into the pit. The shadows will close their jaws, and not even the strongest sword of an archangel can tear them back. But if you rise, oh, if you rise now with the full fury of faith, with the fire of defiance burning in your chest, with the authority of one chosen before the foundation of the world, then even in the very last flicker of time, heaven's decree will thunder, the abyss will collapse, the chains will shatter, and your beloved will be lifted from death's grip as though snatched from the fire itself. Do you understand, child? The enemy fears you more than he fears me, because my sword strikes at his armies, but your faith strikes at his throne. My fire blinds his servants, but your cry shakes the very foundations of his kingdom. And in this moment, when time has collapsed to nothing, your decision carries more weight than 10,000 angels. So rise, rise with the roar of one who will not let their beloved fall. Rise with the authority of one who refuses to surrender. Rise with the voice of one who has been carved by fire for such a time as this. Can you not feel it? The heavens are trembling. The earth is shaking. The angels are lifting their swords higher. The shadows are recoiling, for they sense it. The power is stirring within you. The decree of light is awakening in your spirit. The abyss begins to crack. The darkness begins to scatter. The enemy's laughter chokes in his throat as he senses his grip slipping, for he knows that if you cry out now, if you unleash the full force of your faith, then not only will your beloved be torn from his claws, but 1,000 chains across your bloodline will break in an instant, 1,000 curses will collapse, 1,000 doors of destiny will fling wide open with a force that cannot be shut. Hear me. This is not only about saving the one you love. This is about shifting your entire future. This is about breaking the pattern of destruction that has stalked your family for generations. This is about opening the path of light that will echo for years to come. So now, as heaven's host roars, as the throne of God leans near, as the sword in my hand blazes brighter than the sun, I cry out with you. Do not delay. Do not doubt. Do not let silence swallow this moment. Cry out, child of destiny. Rise in the fullness of your fire, and watch as the heavens themselves move to save the one you love, to rewrite what was written, to turn back the hand of death, and restore life where only silence dared to reign. This is the verdict. This is the moment. This is the eternal decree. If you rise, victory is yours. Your beloved shall live. The abyss shall close, and light shall blaze where darkness sought to reign. Now choose, now rise, now release the cry that will thunder across eternity and change everything forever.
The choice has been uttered, the cry has risen, and now, child, you must see what follows. For though the storm raged in silence, though the abyss stretched open to swallow, your spirit's roar shattered the chains, and your beloved spark has not gone dark. No, it blazes brighter than before, carried on the wings of angels who now descend in ranks upon ranks, their swords igniting like suns against the horizon. Do you see it? Look deeper, for what your mortal eyes cannot grasp, your spirit must witness. Rivers of fire cutting through the black fog, wings like living lightning tearing apart the veil of death, and voices, million strong, chanting your name in eternity's register, because your decision has rewritten a decree that the enemy had written in arrogance. Your beloved lies still, but no longer in the grip of shadows. Their chest rises again, their breath is caught in the rhythm of life, their soul stands upright at the edge of heaven's light, trembling, weeping, seeing what has been done for them, knowing that your cry pierced the silence and tore them free from the pit. But listen, child, for this battle was never only about one life. It was about unveiling the throne written upon your destiny, the authority heaven placed within you long before you were born, the fire you carry that even now sends shivers through the halls of hell. For the enemy knew, he always knew, that if you ever awakened to the truth of who you are, not only would you save the ones you love, but you would become a terror to every chain, a breaker of every curse, a carrier of light whose footsteps cause darkness itself to scatter. And now, with your beloved restored, the heavens cry out that the enemy's plot has collapsed, his contracts have burned, his time has been shortened, and his fury is doubled. But hear me, his fury is meaningless against the decree now sealed upon your bloodline. You wonder why this moment was stretched to the brink, why the sands of time stopped at 44 minutes, why the heavens allowed the enemy to rise so bold. Because destiny cannot awaken in comfort, fire cannot be birthed in still waters, authority is only forged in the collision of life and death, and your spirit had to roar in the last second so that you would see the full weight of what heaven has entrusted to you. Now look, child, beyond your beloved's rescue. Look into the horizon that stretches before you. I see doors opening, doors the enemy swore would never exist for you, doors of healing, doors of restoration, doors of prosperity, doors of justice, doors of redemption that were locked for generations, but now swing wide with a force no darkness can resist. I see chains snapping from your family line. I see hidden scrolls being unsealed, revealing blessings written for your house long ago, blessings the enemy tried to bury, blessings that now erupt like rivers of light, flooding the barren land of your days. Do you not feel it in your bones, the shift, the quaking, the trembling that is not destruction but rebirth? For heaven has declared you as one chosen, not simply to survive, but to stand as a breaker, a restorer, a flame bearer to many others who walk in shadows as your beloved once did. Yes, I see them, souls wandering, chained, blinded, thinking no one sees them. But now, because of your cry, they will be drawn into the light, because what was broken in your house has become a beacon to houses across the earth. This is the ripple, this is the wave, this is why eternity paused for you. Because saving one life was only the beginning, and the true decree is that through you, countless others will rise, countless others will be spared, countless others will find the same fire that burned in you tonight. And so I declare to you now, child of destiny, do not return to silence, do not let this fire dim, do not slip back into the sleep the enemy crafted for you, for if you remain awake, the gates of hell themselves will tremble every time you whisper the name of light, and every shadow will flee when you take a step.
This is not the end, but the awakening. This is not survival, but the birth of authority. This is not a rescue, but a coronation. And I, Michael, bearer of heaven's sword, tell you with all the fire of eternity that your beloved lives not only because heaven decreed it, but because you dared to believe, dared to rise, dared to cry when silence would have been easier. Now, child, carry this truth, guard this fire, walk in this light, for what has been set in motion tonight will echo through generations yet unborn, and darkness itself will remember the moment you rose and shattered its grip forever.
Child of light, do not think the battle has ended simply because the breath has returned. For though victory has been declared, the war continues in realms your mortal sight cannot yet penetrate. Do you understand what has been set into motion tonight? The ripple is greater than you imagine. The enemy's hand was exposed, his hidden contracts unearthed, his schemes dragged into the open. Yet know this, when the enemy is unmasked, his fury multiplies, and though his power is broken, he will not retreat quietly. Already I see him gathering whispers, stirring shadows, weaving lies, trying to convince you that this was only chance, that heaven did not move, that your cry was nothing but wind. But do not listen, child, for every lie he speaks is born of desperation, and desperation is the confession of defeat. Look deeper. Can you not feel the trembling in the air? Heaven's register has recorded your act of faith, and eternity itself has shifted to mark this night as a turning point in your story. For long ago, before you breathed your first breath, before you cried your first cry, there were scrolls written in fire, scrolls sealed in heaven's vaults that spoke of your name, your battles, your breakthroughs, your destiny. And tonight one of those scrolls has been unsealed, unrolled by hands of light, its letters glowing like rivers across the expanse of heaven. I read it even now. It speaks of generations healed through your choice, of chains broken through your voice, of darkness fleeing because one soul refused to bow. Do you not grasp it? This night is not merely about life and death, it is about the unveiling of identity, the awakening of authority, the shaking of foundations the enemy thought were permanent. He trembles now, though he hides it. His ranks are scattering, though they whisper bravado. His throne shakes, though he shouts loudly, because he has seen the fire ignite within you, and that fire will not be quenched. But listen with care, for though you stand victorious, you must also stand vigilant. The minutes you counted, the 44 that echoed like thunder in your heart, were not random numbers, not mere coincidence, but divine markers, signs written into the rhythm of creation, a secret clock that measures moments when heaven and earth collide. The number of testing, the number of preparation, the number that declares now or never. And you rose, child, you rose. You shouted when silence pressed against your throat. You chose light when shadows clawed at your heart. And because of that, the test has been passed, the seal broken, the fire ignited. But tests are not singular, they are cycles. And though this one has ended, know that the path ahead will hold new trials, greater than these. Do not fear, for I am with you, but you must remain awake, for those who fall asleep after victory often lose what they gained in slumber. Guard your heart, guard your mind, guard your beloved, for the enemy will look for cracks, small doors, subtle openings. He will not dare face you in open battle now, for he knows you have tasted heaven's fire, but he will try through whispers, through distraction, through comfort, through delay. Do not yield, for you were not awakened to return to sleep. You were not crowned to walk as a beggar. You were not chosen to fade into the crowd. You are marked now, child. Your soul radiates light visible to both angels and demons alike, and every step you take leaves a trail that eternity itself records. Do you not hear it? The echo of your name resounding in heaven's halls, the roar of countless souls yet unborn who will rise because you rose. Your battle was never for yourself alone. It was for them, for generations, for nations, for strangers whose faces you will never see, yet whose chains will break because your voice shook the heavens. Tonight you crossed a line from which there is no return, and though the world around you may look the same streets, the same walls, the same sky, nothing is the same anymore. For once destiny awakens, nothing sleeps again. Your beloved's life is a testimony, a living scroll that walks beside you now, proof that heaven bends, proof that prayer shakes eternity, proof that silence can be broken. And let this proof anchor you. Let it silence the enemy's whispers. Let it remind you that when time screams its countdown, heaven answers with eternity's roar. Remember this always. 44 minutes were given, 44 minutes were counted, but eternity swallowed the countdown and stretched it into forever because you chose to rise. And from this night forward, you will never walk as before. You walk as one who has seen the veil torn, one who has touched the fire, one who carries the authority to defy shadows and call the light into any place, any heart, any moment. This is who you are now, a breaker, a restorer, a flame-bearer, a voice that shakes the silence, and heaven itself bears witness to your awakening.
Child of the Most High, hear me now, for this is the last and the greatest of all the revelations entrusted to you tonight. You have walked through terror's shadow. You have felt the weight of time pressing upon your soul. You have watched the sand fall grain by grain as 44 minutes threaten to erase what you hold most dear, and you have stood on the edge of despair with your cry trembling against the heavens, and yet you stand, you live, you breathe, and the one you love breathes beside you because the decree of heaven shattered the verdict of darkness. But I tell you now, this victory is not only about one life. It is about the unveiling of the eternal order written long before stars were flung across the skies. Do you not feel it? The shaking under your feet is not fear. It is creation itself rejoicing. For when you rose, all creation rose with you. The groaning of the earth found an answer. The cry of blood through generations found release. The waiting of countless souls caught in darkness has glimpsed a light through the veil. And this light, it is you, child. Yes, you who doubted, you who trembled, you who thought yourself too small, too broken, too late, you are the torch in this hour. The scroll that was opened tonight was not sealed again. It remains open, glowing, unrolling across eternity, declaring that your lineage, your steps, your words will ripple into thousands of lives. You have crossed a threshold where heaven itself calls you partner, not by chance, but by design. And though the enemy trembles, though he gnashes his teeth and hurls curses into the night, his hands are chained, his schemes undone, his dominion fractured, for you have aligned yourself with the commander of heaven's hosts. Never forget, he wanted silence, but you spoke. He wanted stillness, but you rose. He wanted death, but you demanded life, and heaven answered. This, child, is what few ever see, the living proof that the eternal kingdom bends near when one soul chooses light over despair. But beware, for I must speak plainly. The battle does not conclude here. This was the opening, the awakening, the tearing of the first veil, and ahead of you lie valleys where the enemy will test with subtler chains, chains not of terror, but of comfort, not of threat, but of distraction, not of countdowns, but of endless waiting, and that is where many fall. Do not fall, beloved one, for you have been chosen for endurance.
Just as you carried the fire through the storm tonight, so must you carry it through the quiet seasons when the night is long and no thunder shakes the sky. Guard your beloved, for their life now walks as a living testimony, and testimonies are always hunted by shadows. But fear not, for I and the hosts encamp around you. Look above you, child. Do you see it? The heavens are opened, the stars themselves bow in alignment, and written across the firmament is a single word: victory. This is not a victory that fades at dawn, not a victory that ends when memory weakens, but a victory sealed into eternity. And when your name is spoken in heaven's halls, it is no longer whispered as one of the lost or forgotten. It is declared as one who stood, one who endured, one who answered. You are written now among the warriors of light, the keepers of fire, the breakers of chains. And this is the seal I leave upon you. Never again shall you be counted among the powerless, for power has been entrusted to you. Never again shall you walk blind, for sight has been given. Never again shall you doubt the nearness of heaven, for you have touched its fire and felt its hand. Child, you asked if it was too late, if the sands would run out before your cry was heard. Now you see, heaven is never late. Heaven bends at the perfect moment, and tonight eternity bent for you. Let this truth brand itself into your very being. You are chosen. You are marked, you are kept. And when the enemy rises again, as surely he will, you need not fear his timepieces or his threats, for you will know that your time is not bound to minutes or hours. It is bound to eternity, and eternity belongs to your Father. And so I speak my last words in this night. Rise, child, not as one who narrowly escaped, but as one who has conquered. Rise not with trembling, but with fire. Rise not as one who fears the clock, but as one who commands the day. For you are written in the scroll of the living, sealed by the decree of heaven, and no shadow shall erase your light. I am Michael, and I seal these words not with ink or with voice alone, but with the authority of the eternal throne. Walk now in this truth, and let the ages to come bear witness that on this night, in the face of 44 minutes of death's claim, heaven declared forever life, victory, eternity.